Good morning and happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chump Change. This is live and recorded. For those of you that might be new here, what we typically do is go over crypto news or news in general in the space. I update myself, bring you guys along for the ride. Let's see who's in the house and we'll get into this. Mr. Patrick Guyan, good to see you, buddy. Andrew Masad, we got Steven Cicero, Dom G, Black Hat Team, good to see you, buddy. Savage White, Nash, good to see you, buddy. Broskis, Paladin, good morning. Savage White, I think I already said that. JF, good to see you. Good to see you. 10 minutes to midnight in crypto. KJ, Mr. Rude Puts, my man, appreciate you. All right, let's get into this. We got Bitcoin 97,681 bucks. Everything is in the red today, or in the light pink. It looks pretty bad. It does look bad, but everything's still up stupid high. Like ADA's over $1. Look at that, crazy. Dogecoin still holding over 40 cents. Insane. Ethereum 37.39. XRP is at $2.19. Still way better than it was a week ago, right? What was it at? 60 cents. Solana 215 bucks. Let's see Sui $3.77. We got Litecoin at $111. Actually, that's still fantastic. ETC's over $30. Again, fantastic. We got Caspa at 16 cents, looking amazing. Everything looks good, even though this chart looks absolutely terrible. Everything is still holding pretty decent. It's really not that bad of a pullback. H-bar is almost at 30 cents, 29.1 to be exact. We got Render at $8.80. Not too bad. BitTensor 585 bucks. That's still looking really good, even though it's down 10%. I mean, hey, listen, are we gonna have, is this a small pullback before the Santa rally? Are we gonna have a crazy Santa rally? What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Not James and Crypto Bedell, good morning. Good morning. Look at Crypto Bubble, still looks just as bad as it did yesterday. if not slightly worse. But we do have some other things in the green. This virtual, whatever this is, Virtual's protocol, don't know what this is. Ranked 74th, up 14 ranks to $1.67. Not sure if anybody's into that. Let me know in the chat. The CRV, I've seen this one before. Curve Dao or Dow, I don't know how you supposed to say that. 85th rank over here, up 12 ranks, and we're at $1.16. If anybody's into that. Not into that one, but I've seen it a few times before. All right, biggest loser of the day. What are we looking at? IOTA 16.1% down to 37 cents. If anybody's into that. Ranked 94th, down 9 ranks. Give that a big oof. We got Sands down 13.5%. I actually got into some of this because my man Dan R over on Coinbase, shout out to you. But yeah, I've just been holding it, waiting, seeing what happens. I almost sold it the other day though. I probably should have and just bought back in, but I got in cheap enough, so it's fine. But 71 cents, almost 72 cents. Sand is like one of those metaverse coins, as far as I know anyways. Everything else is just kind of whatever. This one just popped. That's funny. All the bubbles got kicked over for this movement token right here. 79 cents, ranked 70th. That was weird that it just popped up out of nowhere. Interesting. All right, moving on. Flashbang, sorry. Extreme greed over here, still on the fear and greed index. This thing has not moved at all from yesterday, which is shocking. I'm really shocked that it's still extremely greedy, and the market looks like this still, and even worse over here. It doesn't make much sense, but hey, listen, they say be fearful when people are greedy, but right now, this is my opinion. I don't know. I'm gonna be buying some 88 today for sure, because I haven't gotten some of that in a while. But yeah, I knew something was touching my chair. My kid's behind me. Can you please come over here? God, I was like, what is happening? I'm like, is my chair moving by itself, or is it just me? Scared the shit out of me, I ain't gonna lie. All right, moving on. Let's see, top 10 coins over on CoinGecko by coin market cap. We have Bitcoin starting at a $1.9 trillion market cap. Next is Ethereum, Tether, XRP. We have Solana, BNB, Dogecoin, USDC, Lido staked Ether, and Cardano over here in 10th place at a $36 billion market cap. Looks amazing. At least it's still in 10th place, even though it's pulling back pretty hard. Tron is actually in 11th at a 23 billion. So Cardano has surpassed it quite a bit. All right, let's see. Nothing else I really want to look at over here on this chart today. Give me 1 second, people. Kids, daddy duty, you know how that goes. all right, yeah, I'm gonna jump into the mining segment of things. Let's see what we got over here for miners. Most profitable miner today, Alpha Packs DG Hydro 1, 20 gigahashes mining Dogecoin and Litecoin, making $64.15 a day. We got the L9 17 gigahash unit making 58.61. That's pretty awesome. We got the AL1 Pro over here. Looks like a lithium still doing well, huh? 16.6 terahashes, $56.41 a day. Let's check out a lithium. How's the lithium looking? 4% up today. Nice. $2.47. Nice. Again, it's up over the 3-month, which is awesome. Still got a little bit of work to do for the year, but it's looking pretty good. It's getting there. It's halfway there, man. It's halfway there. So everybody that's been holding lithium, good on you. Just don't forget to take profits. It's my opinion. You guys do what you want. All right, L9 16 gigahash unit over here making 55.16 a day. We got the AL1 15.6 terahash unit making 53 bucks. The AL3 is making $50.66. Crazy. The L7, you guys know I got this thing down at Terra Hosting. Shout out to Terra Hosting if you guys are looking or interested for hosting. Link is in the description. Pay 10 cents per kilowatt hour down there instead of the 30 I would pay up here. We got yeah, my 9050 making $27.54 a day. Crazy. Perfect. Absolutely amazing. This machine is I wish I had like 100 of these. No joke. That's crazy. If you guys are interested also, Terra Hashes, terrahashes.com. I got a link in the description. If you guys are shopping for ASICs, please feel free to go check them out. They have all tariffs and stuff are included in these prices, and you can use code CCXD and you get a percentage off of these units, which will help you guys out and helps support the channel. So I appreciate that very much if you guys are looking for ASICs, but at this current moment, personally, I would just buy the coin. That's my opinion. You guys do what you want. All right, let's see. The let me scroll down a little bit. I want to look at this, the Gold Shell EDG1M. I think I'm going to be using this thing to heat my garage, actually, because it's a bit chilly in there and I need a little heater. It's my kid's playroom. So 3.4 gigahash is over there, 1800 watts. Actually, low power modes, like I think it's like 2.6 gigahashes at 1100 watts. If I'm not mistaken, it's much more efficient, but it's about $9 a day, roughly, give or take, right? Obviously, low power mode are probably making like $6-7 a day, something like that. But also, I'd have to change the electric rate, right? So I'll probably be making like maybe a couple bucks if I'm lucky. But you know what? It's free heat for the garage, so it makes sense for me. Shout out to Gold Shell for sending that over. I think you can use code CHUMP for that if you guys are interested in that thing. But again, I would just buy coins, to be honest, right now. Let's see, the Ice River AL2 Lite 2 terahash unit, 500 watts, making $6.67 a day. Nice. Any miners you guys want me to look at, let me know in the chat. Did you see DJ bought 10 AL1s? I heard about that a long time, yeah, a couple weeks ago. Let's see, AL1, which one? This one, 15.6 terahashes. For his sake, I hope it goes up. No, I think he bought the AL3s, man. I don't think he bought the AL1. Yeah, the sorry, my kid got up way too early today. She went to bed on time last night. That's what happens. You get screwed up in the morning. Anyways, I think he bought the AL3s. Am I wrong? I thought it was the AL3 Crypto KJ, because they are cheaper, right? But then they make like close to the same amount of money. But I don't know. For his sake, I hope lithium continues to go up. I don't see lithium doing that great, but that's just my opinion. I mean, everybody has their own coins. I hope it does well for the sake of everybody that has miners, right? That's just, yeah, I don't know. It's just, it makes me nervous. It makes me nervous. That's all I gotta say. All right, the GPUs, Aleo over here, top of the charts. We got Able on the 170HX, Xano on the 7900 XTX. So the AMD cards looking like Xano today. Some of the Nvidia cards as well, 30 series, 3080, 12 gigabyte. We got the 3090 on Xano. Nice. So it's kind of split between Xano and Aleo today. Interesting. How's Xano doing? Sorry, 20 AL3s. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was more than 10 as well. Yeah. All right, that makes more sense. Xano is up 20%. Why is this not going here? All right, computer's lagging. There we go. 13.08, $13.08. Nice. 20% up from Xano. If anybody's mining this, nice. Again, I don't know what this project's about, but I would just mine and sell it. My opinion. 1 month, it's up over the 1 month a lot. 3 month, damn, 3 month looks really good. Holy shit, it's even way up over the year. God damn. I don't know what this project is. I should probably look into it, but good for you guys if you guys are mining this and holding it. The max chart, it's killing it. It's killing it. Don't forget to take profits. $13. This is all-time high, I assume. Yep, 13.14, 37 minutes ago. There you go. If you guys are mining Xano, get after it. Get after it. All right, let's see. Real quick, just because Crypto KJ wants me to show it. Spoiler alert, I bought 20 the next day. Yeah, that's crazy. That's too much of a gamble for me. It's too much of a gamble for me. But yeah, $4,000. $4,000 over here on the lithium miners Mr. DJ bought. Too crazy. 41.49 per miner. That's crazy. I hope he makes his money. I hope he makes a lot of money. All right, moving on. New segment of things. Got a lot of things I want to watch today. Sorry, flashbang. Amazon urged to buy Bitcoin as Microsoft shareholders consider BTC proposal. Does the National Center for Public Policy has recommended Amazon convert at least 5% of its assets into Bitcoin, right as Microsoft considers its own BTC move. That is massive. Amazon, you guys know, one of the largest companies on the planet. This is huge. This is huge for Bitcoin. It really is. So let's see what we're gonna watch a video about this in a little bit, but we're gonna get into some other news first, and then we'll get into that. All right, Trump's pro-growth initiatives will lead to continued strong growth in the economy. Let's see what they got to say over here. About 23 hours ago, CNBC television. Guys, hit that like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's do it.
Joining us right now is Stephanie Link, Hightower Chief Investment Strategist and Portfolio Manager. And Stephanie, let's start with this news that we're hearing. Again, we've only heard this in the last 10 minutes or so, but there are headlines that China is investigating NVIDIA over what they say is a suspected violation of anti-monopoly law. NVIDIA shares right now down by about 2%. And I think our first question was, wait a second, do they even sell chips to China? Turns out they do. I think in the July quarter, they sold something like 12% of their revenue, $3.7 billion, accounted for sales in China. What do you think of this news?
Jeez.
I mean, I think we just have to get ready and just get used to this kind of thing, right? Because last week, the U.S. barred semiconductor companies from selling any chips to China. And that's one of the reasons why Applied Materials fell pretty substantially. Lam Research, those companies have almost 30% of their revenues to Chinese companies. So you can see why they fell. 12% is probably manageable, Becky, but I just think we're going to have to get used to this. It's back and forth. And that's one of the reasons why I think the semiconductors have actually paused, right? I mean, NVIDIA and Broadcom have been the stellars. They've been the standouts. And I think they will be the long-term winners for years and years to come. But I do think that they've had a nice run, and overall, the semiconductors over the last couple of years have had a nice run. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see, just some volatility, and maybe they pause for a bit. That's one of the reasons why software has done so well, because you're seeing money come out of semis and go into software.
I guess that raises the question, though, of so many other companies that have big business or that are reliant on China for manufacturing, whether that be Apple or Starbucks or Nike. A lot of those companies are making moves to move their manufacturing or to try and expand their manufacturing reach from where they're getting these things. But it's not an overnight process. Do you sell those stocks as a result of what you're seeing this morning?
I don't think you sell those stocks, but I am glad to see over the last 4 years that these companies have actually been moving their businesses out of China and around the world. One of the reasons I like India so much is I think that they are an absolute beneficiary of this thing that's happening. And also, we've seen and we've been talking about reshoring and onshoring here in the United States. That is alive and well and a very, very powerful theme, I think, Becky, for the next decade to come. We're going to spend $4 trillion on the energy transition wave, if you will, between now and 2050. And I think this is all part of that, trying to get supply chains here and so that companies can diversify and not be in the position that they were in when we saw COVID.
All right, Steph, let me ask you. Tesla may be a very unique company in this whole mix just because of Elon Musk's close ties to President Trump. Can he walk this line because China's not going to want to aggravate someone who is so close to incoming President Trump at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest question. We'll have to see. We'll have to wait and see. Certainly, just by reaction of the stock price since the election, I think people believe that he can.
All right, let's shift gears and talk a little bit about the inflation numbers that we're going to get this week. We just mentioned CPI on Wednesday. The producer prices come on Thursday. This is all ahead of that Fed meeting next week. It's hard to think that we're not going to get a cut next week when the Fed meets, just because that's been kind of programmed in. But if there was a really strong inflation number, I guess that could change minds.
For sure. I think we're all are watching the numbers this week. It'll be very important. But I think we have to just step back and see if inflation is a little bit higher than expected. It's because growth is a little bit higher than expected. We grew 3.4% GDP last year, Becky. We are on track, according to the Atlanta Fed tracker right now in this quarter, at 3.3%. The consumer has actually stayed in and hung in remarkably well. Manufacturing is starting to turn. I know we just talked about reshoring and onshoring. That's a theme by itself. But if the rest of manufacturing, which has been in a recession, if that actually can start to get legs, that's actually positive. And I felt good about the ISM manufacturing numbers last week because they are seeing an improvement. Still in contraction, but seeing an improvement. We even saw existing home sales up 2.9% last month, year over year. So I think the economy is doing better. If that means inflation is a little higher, from an investment point of view, I would rather better growth and a little bit of higher inflation because profits actually can go higher as a result. And that's what I care about from an investing side.
Very quickly, we started the show with JP Morgan. I think we were talking about JP Morgan saying that maybe the Trump trade is running thin because we've seen so much movement because valuations are so high. Do you agree with that or not? Because the growth story that you're talking about is clearly a motivator.
It is, and honestly, Trump is inheriting a strong economy, and I think that he will. His pro-growth initiatives, lower deregulation, lower taxes, I think that will lead to continued strong growth. Do we see an acceleration from 3.3%? I don't think so. But even if we were at 2.5, 3, that's above trend, and that is positive.
Interesting. All right, let's see. Isn't there where is it? A bot that copies her trades. Talking about Nancy Pelosi's trades. Yeah, she's an incredible trader. That's called insider trading. And she's gonna get so effed. I can't wait for it. But yeah, there's I forget what it is. It's like an app or something that you can like copy her trades. I don't think it's like a bot that does it for you, but you can copy everything she does. All right, if anybody knows in the chat, please throw it in there. This is an AI bull market. Let's see what they got to say over here on CNBC television about 22 hours ago. So
all right, let's talk more about the markets. Heading into this month, the S&P was up by more than 25%. Joining us right now is Bespoke's co-founder Paul Hickey, up 25%. It's been a pretty phenomenal run. You're looking at things over the very near term, and you do have some concerns about how top-heavy the market is in some areas, right, Paul?
Well, so in some respects, yes. So the market is a bit top-heavy. And to the prior segment with Mike Santoli talking about too much holiday cheer, there's a lot of things working in the market's favor right now. And you have to ask yourself, though, how many times can you rally on the same thing twice, and keep rallying? But overall, our view is short term is positive. We call it like a beef sandwich. You have the economy, earnings, and the Fed, and then you have the breadth and you have seasonality.
Put that again. Beef is broadening, economy, earnings, Fed, and seasonality. Yeah, so those 5 factors.
Yeah, so in the middle, the economy, earnings, and the Fed are still very positive. The broadening has been strong since the second half started. Last week was a little shaky. We saw the market, S&P was up 1%. 3 sectors were up. Every other sector was down at least 1%. And there wasn't a single day where more stocks were up than down on the S&P 500.
And you say things got even beefier after the election with the election results.
Yeah, so the election, there's still uncertainty what's going to happen with as far as trade policy, as far as taxes, as far as tariffs. But overall, it's unequivocally positive for the market as far as the regulatory burden. It started with the Chevron doctrine getting struck down in June, and then this incoming administration, we've seen regulation and the size of government grow has been a constant over the last 40 years.
Well, I just want to call up what we have on the screen. I think that's what we were having. Go back to that. I think in an election year where you had the market up 20% or more as we headed into December 3 out of 4 times, it's been down in December. But you're basically saying throw that out the window. You're positive both on shorter term and longer term, despite that statistic.
Yes, you just have to look at the things. What we're taking for granted right now is just, keep things in perspective here. We've had an enormous run, but we're still very positive. And the longer term play is the AI trade. This is an AI bull market. Every bull market has a theme. And ChatGPT was to AI what Netscape and AOL were to the internet.
Meaning just the beginning.
It's mid stages here. And so, you saw.
That's kind of a good point.
You saw from in the 2 years after Netscape Navigator was launched and the 2 years after ChatGPT was launched, the NASDAQ is up by nearly identical amounts. And it's because neither one, ChatGPT didn't invent AI. It made it tangible for consumers and businesses, just like Netscape with the internet made it a lot more practical on the part of businesses and the consumer. So I think in that respect, there's a lot more investment to go. And we've seen the infrastructure stocks in AI benefit, but we've even just last week, some of these software names, and we're going to slowly start to see that broaden out to the rest of the economy.
Interesting. That was a good point, though. That is a good point. All right, looking over here, President-elect Trump's cabinet to have more billionaires than any in history. This is pretty awesome. Let's see what they say.
Meantime, the announcements keep coming. President-elect Donald Trump assembling now what could be the wealthiest administration in history. Robert Frank is here with that story and the surprising number. So richer than his first cabinet, Robert.
Indeed, and that was a pretty rich cabinet. This one even more so, Sarah. The Trump cabinet will have more billionaires and centimillionaires than any in history. From Linda McMahon and Howard Lutnick to Doug Berman, Stephen Feinberg, Jared Isaacman, and Kelly Loeffler, the billionaires on the official cabinet will have a combined net worth of over $13 billion. Now, that is not including, of course, Elon Musk or Trump's new billionaire ambassadors. The centimillionaires and possible billionaires, depending on how you count your wealth, includes Scott Bessent, Dr. Oz, and Chris Wright. Now, Trump is still wealthier than any of his cabinet members, with Trump's current net worth about $6.4 billion. Of course, $4 billion of that coming from his stake in the publicly traded DJT. The record wealth of the cabinet also creates unprecedented ethics issues and possible divestitures. Howard Lutnick said he will step down from his 3 companies and divest shares in the publicly traded BCG Group and Newmark. He said he won't be selling those shares on the open market, so perhaps he could be transferring them to some kind of family trust or some kind of trust. Now, Chris Wright will have to sell about $40 million of stock in his company, Liberty Energy. Scott Bessent could step down from his hedge fund. There could be a key man risk there, so maybe he unwinds that. Unclear. Now, since Musk and Ramaswamy are not formal members of the cabinet, they're just advisors. They are not bound by the same conflict of interest laws. Trump and Vance, of course, and members of Congress also not subject to those laws. But we're going to see a lot of reshuffling of assets, perhaps divestitures, a lot of questions about what happens to capital gains taxes with those sales in the coming months, certainly after January. Guys?
Interesting. All right. Let's see. AI defense tech poised to win big under Trump. Let's see.
Palantir announcing a partnership with the defense tech startup Anduril today with the goal of ensuring America leads the AI race. And that's also a focus of Silicon Valley in the new year. My Deirdre Bosa has more on that in today's Tech Check. Morning, Dee.
Hey, good morning, Carl. So a pair of notes from here on the ground are making the rounds in tech at the moment that look to government and defense as themes at the earliest stages of the investment cycle that will continue to win next year as Silicon Valley's influence in the next administration only grows. Now, the first is Y Combinator's request for startups in 2025. It lists government software as its first idea. It reads, it's hard to think of something that sounds less appealing as a place to look for startup ideas than the government, but if you're up for digging in that space, we'd love to hear from you. And the second one is VC firm Andreessen Horowitz's list of big ideas in tech for 2025. It puts American dynamism at the very top and argues that, quote, we must invest in technologies that enable rapid force projection, energy, space, and AI advancements can all play a critical role in hardening our capabilities against our international rivals. Now, it certainly helps that Palantir is one of the most successful Silicon Valley stories of the last few years. As Y Combinator notes, it's one of the only startups that has managed to figure out selling software to the government. At its IPO in 2020, it was valued at about $20 billion. Today, that is well over $160 billion. In fact, I was at an event here in San Francisco last week, and 3 separate founders described their startups to me as the Palantir of X. For a long time, it was the Uber of X, but at least anecdotally, it feels like the narrative is shifting, and Silicon Valley's ethos of innovation, it's now converging with Washington's priorities. It also helps that President-elect Trump's circle of Silicon Valley advisors are running companies with government contracts like Elon Musk, or they're VCs that have invested in defense startups like David Sachs, selected as AI and crypto czar, and Mark Andreessen of Andreessen Horowitz, who is reportedly helping to recruit for DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. Now, the new aspiration in Silicon Valley, it's not just disruption for legacy software applications, but it's really impact on critical infrastructure, national resilience, and geopolitics, especially as the AI race increasingly gets painted as China versus U.S., autocratic versus democratic development. Now, this is already proving lucrative for the companies that can figure it out. You mentioned Palantir hitting an all-time high today after giving up those gains, now down more than 12%. There's also SpaceX, of course, a private company, Elon Musk's private company, mulling a deal that would put its valuation at $350 billion. Now, of course, important caveat here, guys, for every Palantir or Anduril or SpaceX, there are dozens of startups in the defense or government space that have discovered the hard way that navigating government is a grind, and this could be more hype than sustainable strategy. But at the earliest stages of investment, there seems to be more than ever at least a willingness to try, and that's what people here have their eye on.
Interesting. Yeah. Real quick, Andrew Prasad said Trump lost billions fighting this BS, and the deep state put him through. He also gave up his salary all 4 years he was in office. Yeah, I guess he took it and donated the rest. So he took $1 and donated everything. I think he's doing the same thing this time around. I heard that earlier, actually. Bitcoin retreats from $100,000 as falling NVIDIA shares weigh on risk assets. Let's see what they got to say over here on CNBC Crypto world. Let's do it.
Today, Bitcoin pulls back from last week's $100,000 milestone. And Andy Baer of CoinDesk Indices breaks down whether the whirlwind of pro-crypto headlines from the Trump transition team will drive lasting support for crypto markets. Welcome to
He donates it to the Trump Donation Foundation.
NBC's Crypto World, I'm Tanea McKeel. Crypto markets are in the red as we kick off the week as a decrease in shares of NVIDIA dragged on risk assets broadly. By noon Eastern, Bitcoin dipped 2% to $97,800. Ether fell 3.5% to $3,844, and XRP dropped more than 6.5%. Altcoins suffering steeper losses today after benefiting the most from the Trump 2.0 trade over the past month. The move in XRP also follows Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse's feature on CBS's 60 Minutes last night. He discussed the industry's massive political contributions in the 2024 election, as well as the current regulatory landscape. Garlinghouse took to...
Wait. He talked about the presidential contributions. How they put $10 million towards Kamala Harris. Is that what he's talking about? I didn't see it. Did anybody see it? Is it good or is it like total shit? Let me know.
X to express disappointment in some aspects of the segment, specifically omitting sound bites from the interview about the landmark 2023 ruling that XRP is not a security when sold to retail investors on exchanges. XRP has rallied more than 330% in the past month, and last week flipped Solana to become the third largest cryptocurrency by market cap. All right, let's stick with markets as we jump to our main story. Of course, everyone's been keeping an eye on Bitcoin as it hovers right around that key $100,000 mark, but we're also keeping a close eye on the Trump transition team and some of the major pro-crypto staffing picks the president-elect has been making. Crypto World's Jordan Smith spoke with Andy Baer, head of product at CoinDesk Indices, about the role politics continues to play in crypto markets and how the CoinDesk 20 Index, an index measuring broader crypto market performance, could fare through the end of 2024.
All right, Andy, let's just start with the markets overall. Obviously, that huge milestone for Bitcoin last week had everybody talking. And regardless of the pullback today, I've had all kinds of people over the weekend asking me about that 100K Bitcoin, sort of how far it extends into other cryptocurrencies. And I think you're a good person to ask that too, because of the CoinDesk 20 index. Based on that index, what are you seeing out there? How deep does this rally go? What's the momentum looking like in the crypto market?
It's despite Bitcoin's kind of champagne moment last week of hitting 100,000, which of course a lot of folks celebrated. The CoinDesk 20 index has outperformed Bitcoin since the day before election. It almost doubled during the month of November since the election, and that says a couple of things. First of all, Bitcoin is enjoying a lot of adoption momentum right now. More and more people are using it. Every time MicroStrategy comes up, every time this idea that corporate balance sheets might hold Bitcoin as an alternative source of store value comes up, this is all part of adoption momentum. Bitcoin probably has the least to gain from any regulatory changes. It's very well regulated already. It's classified as a commodity in the United States. We have futures contracts, options on futures, ETFs, options on ETFs, options on ETF indices, wide availability on centralized exchanges. So Bitcoin's story, and when it really comes down to what Bitcoin is fundamentally, is about more people being able to own it, understand its value proposition. And so that adoption momentum is key. Several of the president-elect's comments, whether he is appointing the crypto czar or just talking broadly about what his administration is going to be like, are clearly pro-crypto and pro-Bitcoin. That helps. So Bitcoin's done great. CoinDesk 20 almost doubled. You saw a resurgence in names like Ether and Ethereum, mainly because there is more future for things trading on Ethereum, which would bring up volumes and help Ethereum out. Stablecoins, part of the meme coin market, NFTs, but also smart contracts. The innovation and the growth side of crypto is either going to trade or clear on Ethereum, and that kind of woke up Ethereum after it having a pretty sleepy kind of summer. The rest of the CoinDesk 20 names, which are the top names in crypto, experienced what were almost surprising resurgences. XRP, XLM, Uniswap, Cardano, Hedera, just all the way through the list. All the names were up, some of them multiple times. As things stood by the end of November, more than half of the CoinDesk 20 names had doubled or better during the year. So those are so separating those two is important. Bitcoin is about adoption momentum. The better outlook for a regulatory pavement on which the digital asset industry can operate is really what about the other coins' momentum is about.
Something I've been wrestling with is just how much U.S. politics has played a role in this latest rally, because I feel like for years we've been talking about here on Crypto World that crypto is apolitical, it's global, no one country can have an outsized influence on the industry or markets. It seems like that's less true than ever. Am I wrong on that? Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Help me make sense of that feeling that I'm feeling right now. Right.
It's great when you go around the world and you look at different jurisdictions and you meet with regulators. I've met with regulators in Hong Kong, met with regulators in Dubai and in Europe. they have dedicated digital asset regulations, which you kind of need. As an industry grows up and you want to operate in a place where the talent lives and where the capital lives, you need rules for capital formation. You need rules that help you define what your business is going to be and how it's going to be regulated. We are always saying crypto wants better regulation, not no regulation. So an apolitical stance is fine so long as the rules are clear. Crypto will have to, like any other asset class, sustain both Republican and Democratic administrations into the future. But I'm almost looking at this as crypto's 1933 moment, right? When the Securities Act passed in 1933, it established exactly what securities were and what they weren't. It provided clarity. It was landmark. And it basically began the capital markets, the equity parts of capital markets and their interaction with the public. And that was very good. At the time, it may not have felt excellent, but now it feels foundational, and we still refer to those rules every day. So having good, crisp regulations that are neutral to the industry, that are fair and usable is critical. That's been part of what's been suppressed over the last couple of years, and that's what the industry has really felt. That's the environment that we appear to be exiting from, and that's why the spirit seems to be a little bit more constructive.
How long do you see U.S. politics still influencing the market at the level that we're seeing right now? Because we still have to get a lot of these names confirmed. We still have to see what kind of bills make it through committee onto a floor vote. There are just so many questions right now. So is this our life for the next 2 to 4 years that we're going to be watching politics and looking at price moves and saying, all right, what's happening on Washington to drive that price move?
I think there are going to be moments of elation like we've had over the last month, and there are going to be moments, maybe even seasons of frustration. So we can't assume that we're going to keep rocketing off. I think even if you look at the markets over the weekend and today, they've softened a little bit. We've had an incredible run for a month as the market repriced in this new future. You're exactly right that legislation will take a long time. Stopping the bleeding and I guess having some existing projects kind of come out of hiding for maybe reduced fear of actions coming in their email, unexpectedly, that will probably help. That's probably the best short-term thing. Again, for Bitcoin, all you need is mentions and comfort. There were still some editorials in various publications after the 100,000 mark saying, well, we told you so then and we're telling you so now, stay away from this thing. So as long as there are naysayers and side-eye and eye-rolling, that there's more adoption momentum ahead. For the other digital asset classes, I think the thing to watch is going to be how much talent is coming back onshore to the United States. That's key. How much capital is going to be reinvested into projects in the United States, and how soon will we have more kind of investment opportunities for retail investors who don't want to trade on crypto native exchanges? In other words, if I want something in an IRA that has diversification, or in an ETF form or a fund form that's easy to purchase, how soon am I going to be able to get that? Because what's most important is that most 5%ers, most people who are spending 5% of their time allocating to digital assets are not going to pick tokens, and they're not going to pick timing. They deserve something like the QQQ of crypto to help get them exposed to the market, but not necessarily devoted so much that they have to try to pick individual winners.
Okay, that's all for crypto.
Interesting. All right, shout out to CNBC Television. Let's move on to the videos. Amazon buying Bitcoin. WTF is happening. Mr. Lark Davis over here. Let's see what he's got to say.
Amazon. Holy crap, they could be the next company to be adding Bitcoin as a reserve asset. Are you seeing what's going on here, folks? Huge things. We got to talk about this. We got that. We got a lot of Bitcoin charts that are going to be really fun to look at. Talk about a potential cycle zone to look at for the peak price of the cycle. Some warnings there as well. Some Ethereum stuff, some thoughts. Let's get into it. It's going to be a good time. Let's go. So this Bitcoin Treasury assessment. Shareholders request that the board conduct an assessment to determine if adding Bitcoin to the company's treasury is in the best long-term interest of shareholders. Spoiler alert, it is. Will they do it? I hope so. Somebody needs to get Saylor over there ASAP to orange pill all these people on the board, like right now. Right now. Get over there, get some pizzas, lock them in a room, and don't come out until they all have laser eyes. That's it. We're done. Guys, this is incredibly big news. Now, this follows Microsoft exploring it. Okay? We're going to get the Microsoft vote in a few days. If they do it, I would suspect that Amazon will do it. If they don't do it, Amazon could still very likely do it, and then Microsoft will kind of be forced to play catch-up later on. You have to understand, these companies have gargantuan sums of money and like cash, and it's melting. It's like sitting on a giant melting ice cube, and they have to do something with it. They try to invest and buy a small company, but at some point you get so big and you have so much money, what the hell are you going to do with it? Buy Bitcoin. That's what you do with it. You buy Bitcoin, gosh darn it. Now, this is absolutely nuts because if Amazon or Microsoft do it, now we have two companies potentially, right? If either Amazon or Microsoft literally buy Bitcoin, it'll be, again, the shot heard around the financial world. MicroStrategy was a small company when they started buying Bitcoin, a tiny company. The impact is not the same. How long until NVIDIA is forced to do this? How long until Facebook is forced to do it? Netflix is forced to do it, okay? Tesla already has it. Tesla's a big tech company. Elon Musk is eccentric. People write it off, okay? But when you start having Amazon, and Microsoft doing it. Apple's going to have to do it. Facebook's going to have. They're all going to have to do it. Now, Amazon has $88 billion as of September, probably around the same. Maybe it's $90 billion now, or whatever I want to spend money on. Let's just say it's $88 billion. If they take 10% of that money and put it into Bitcoins, $8.8 billion, okay? Obviously, buys a few Bitcoins, right? Is that 88,000 Bitcoin? Is that right? Buys a lot of Bitcoins, put it that way. So, it would be a massive move. Be a massive move. It would secure their position in a very, very big way. Will they do it? I don't know. Time's going to tell. Time's going to tell, okay, guys? But this is an absolutely huge potential. And a lot of these companies have literally tens, some cases, hundreds of billions of cash on hand. They need to diversify. It's actually, at a certain point, fiscally irresponsible of these companies to keep so much cash on hand. Anyway, absolutely crazy, crazy news. We're going to see more. It's only starting. That's how we're going to get to 250K this cycle. More on that in a minute. Currently, Bitcoin going through a bit of correction. Nothing too exciting going on here, to be honest. Still in a downtrend on the MACD daily. 92K remains key support to the downside should we go down that far, although we may only go for a retest of this initial downtrend breakout here, which would put us around $96,000, let's say $97,000. Break under 97 with a daily candle close. Look for 92K next, okay?
Real quick, what are we at now? 97,258.
Or unless we get a very, very quick recovery, but that's kind of where we're going right now. It doesn't really matter. Short-term price action, it's fine. It's fine, okay? Great chart here from CryptoCon. It says data is showing that Bitcoin probably has a lot more in the tank than some people think. Bull run bounce on the Chaikin money flow was successful. Now, as expected, the metric has raced to the 0.35 overheat line, but hasn't crossed it yet. And that's important because it tells us there are still two tops to go in the cycle. In many ways, our price action looks very similar to early 2017 when Bitcoin had yet to break above all-time highs. Happy 100K, everybody. A price target once thought impossible. Real quick shout out before we get into...
Bastard. Hold on.
Bitcoin charts here to share. Look at this. Mark Moss sharing. History rhymes. Every past cycle, Bitcoin entered the red zone. This will put us around $200,000 Bitcoin. I share this because this is all rational, right? I know everybody wants to be irrational. I know. Especially once we get to 200K. That's we're going to have.
Do you think that's going to happen? You think that's going to happen around 200K up there?
Irrational exuberance. Everyone's going to say, "But we got all this stuff coming in."
But it was lower here. Like if you look at this one, that's why I think we're only really going to get into this like beige color. That's just my opinion. If we get there, 150.
It's going to drive us up to $1 million per Bitcoin. And I'm actually going to do a video breaking down that whole thesis actually here soon because maybe none of us are being bullish enough. Maybe this will just be the super cycle is going to go straight to $1 million this year. But chances are that's the exact kind of talk that'll get everybody stuck, right? And there's a lot of great catalysts coming out. And that's how we get to 250K BTC. But not $1 million yet. Not in my opinion. Happy to be wrong, I guess. Quentin here is saying, are you mentally prepared for this scenario? 280K this cycle, 800K next cycle, 1.8 million in the 2030s. Yes, I am ready. My soul is ready. Let's go. With the 100K mark being broken, many are wondering where Bitcoin is headed for next. We believe this is just the beginning of an epic 2020-like parabolic move. Peak estimate 250 to 350K. 350 probably on the higher side of what I would assume is rational, but okay, sure, rock and roll. 220K Bitcoin. This is drawing from the peaks all the way back to 18 up. That would be, I could see it. 220K, yeah, sure, rock and roll. Rock and roll, man, sounds good. If you believe in the channel that began in 2018, you likely believe Bitcoin reached 250K this cycle. Yes. Great.
I don't think so.
That's all fantastic.
It'd be nice.
Here's Max Kaiser saying, I'm raising my target for Bitcoin from $220,000 to $2.2 million. I agree with Jack, because this is exactly how people will fail to realize profits from the bull market. Again, it's not that the price will and is going up and will be for some time still. It's that everyone will keep raising their targets until the market will have enough and turn around level to level. Now, you got to keep in mind, for you guys watching, taking profits is going to be essential, okay? If you want to make it and bank that profit and actually live the life of freedom that you want to live with financial security and all that stuff, you're going to have to sell, okay? Straight up. Max Kaiser, he's in a different boat. If he's wrong, it doesn't matter. Max has got so much Bitcoin, so much money, so much gold, all that kind of stuff that he's fine. He's fine. If his prediction doesn't come true, he's fine. He's probably worth hundreds of millions, if not billions by this point, okay? He was in Bitcoin early enough. I have to understand that, okay? So if it goes up or down, it doesn't really matter for him. He's probably not selling anyway. For you, balls deep in altcoins, come on. Yeah. You have to stick to your targets, at least to some degree, okay? Because everyone, this is what happens. As soon as we get 200K, everyone says now it's going to 300K. If you actually get 300K, when else going to happen? Let's go to $1 million. And nobody sells anything.
Altcoins are just so much more volatile. You have to take profits. If you don't, you're going to be screwed.
Anyway. China expected to cut interest rates by the largest amount in a decade next year, according to Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley. Of course, they are. Fantastic. Free money coming everywhere. Massive monetary easement across the world right now. The Fed's cutting. China's cutting. China's not just cutting. All kinds of stuff. Major shifts to the monetary policy coming across the board in China. Second biggest economy in the world. Is going to have an impact, guys. Besides saying whatever you do, don't sell your coins. We still have 4 months to go. This is the Ethereum chart, by the way. 4 months to go until at least some say the end of the cycle. It could be the end of the cycle. At the very least, we have a major local top, which will probably come in like March or April. Okay, so be ready for it. Whereas we've covered in many charts, we're just starting to get into this major expansionary phase of the market cycle. But yeah, anyway. ETH gonna go. ETH's gonna kick up hard, man. I know we just had this major breakout, consolidating a little bit just above that. If we come back down and retest this zone, fine. Even back down here, also fine. We don't want to see it go much further than that. Could just be then a major fake breakout underway. Are you buying the dip today? There's a bit of a dip today, but honestly, the dip's not very attractive for me at the moment. A lot of coins, as you can see here, are down. Small percentages. Whiff's down 7%, and Hype's down 5%, and what else we got here? Aptos is down 5%, Render's down 5%. Like this is a dip for ants, okay? This is not a real dip. You're right, you guys, let's check back in when altcoins are down 30, 40, 50% in a week. That's a dip, okay? That is the dip worth buying. Things are down 5%. I'm not interested. I'm just riding. I'm riding, man. Dips are for buying when it dips, the cycle's over. It's true. Baby hippos. Nah. Kato AI says, crypto Twitter, crypto X these days, calls it hot basically all year round. It's quite funny, actually. The sentiment is just constantly, the top is in, short now everything, short now everything, short now everything. The hive mind is generally wrong about a lot of things. You have to be contrarian, okay? You do. You have to be contrarian because most people are always calling the top, saying it's over, gonna short, blah, blah, blah. And most of the charts just don't show that's anywhere near the case right now, okay? Jack is saying, so many people are thinking the current cycle is just another printing cycle and are stuck in the recency bias of the prior one. This is the most forecasted mistake in, most forecasters' mistake in the past and today. Many are failing to implement effectivity growth and higher demand into the cycle of crypto. This is the first real adoption cycle since 2017. A lot of AI applications will be hitting real world use cases in the upcoming years alongside others. You cannot think of crypto as 4X all the time. It's true. Things might get a lot crazier than we think, but also keep in mind that if we grind up to $10 trillion, that's probably crazier. A lot of things are going to get, that's going to be nuts, guys. That's going to be nuts. That's like good, you know? I'm always open to the idea of things get crazier, but I don't want to start making that a base case or adjusting the targets. Like when it happens, okay, fine. But until then, the base case is the base case, okay? Guys, want to get time?
Anyways, all right, shout out to Lark Davis for that. Appreciate it. All right, crypto holders, can't believe this is happening. Let's see what Mr. Altcoin Daily is going to say. Probably about the Amazon stuff as well.
I want to know what I got wrong about Bitcoin, or explain it so I understand it finally.
You got everything wrong because you didn't buy it, Dave.
This is a crazy week for crypto right now. As of tomorrow,
that's the guy from Barstool
Microsoft
Sports.
Shareholders to vote tomorrow on adding Bitcoin to their treasury. Amazon shareholders propose a 5% Bitcoin treasury. Of course, this would have to be voted on and approved. I could keep going. Riot Platforms is raising $500 million to buy Bitcoin amid the price surge. All this equates to unrealized demand for an asset, which has a limited supply. Demand is increasing, not waning. And while the true opportunity may be with the altcoins, watch today's whole video for the alpha. I want to share with you this video and this video because it's two completely different sets of audiences. This is Fox Business. This is the former CFTC chair of the United States, educating Wall Street and the big money on why to buy Bitcoin.
We live in a time where $1 out of every $4 has been printed in the last 5 years. We are actively debasing our currency. And at the same time, Bitcoin has, into its design, programmed scarcity. You can never have more than a certain amount of Bitcoin. And so the dollar is depreciating, Bitcoin is appreciating. Quick factoid. In 2018, the average American home would have cost you over $260,000 and over 400 Bitcoin. Today, the average American home is now over $460,000. It would cost you less than 5 Bitcoin. What's been the better investment over the last 5 years, Bitcoin or dollars?
So that's a message on why to buy Bitcoin to the big institutional money coming from a voice they respect. And then Dave Portnoy, founder of Barstool Sports, who's speaking to the average person. And by the way, Barstool Sports has over 66 unique monthly users, meaning millions speaking to millions of the average person. This is Michael Saylor convincing Dave Portnoy that Bitcoin is better than SafeMoon.
I chose SafeMoon. I put 40 grand into SafeMoon.
A coin he bought and lost a lot of money on back in the day.
I bought 40 grand on my own. I picked them on my own, and I lost the money on my own.
Michael Saylor is using sports metaphors to educate Dave. This is a full 2 minutes. I want to share with you the whole thing, then react.
Michael showed up about 20 minutes ago, and I want to wait. Look at the setup we got here. I want what we talked about, because we have the video of the Winklevosses telling me Elon Musk is going to outer space and raining gold down. Confused me. I sold it.
Yeah, and if he mines all the gold in the asteroids above Earth, then all of a sudden gold
is that like a real statement?
Yeah, I think he will.
In like the next.
So all of a sudden,
wait, what?
So after sitting with him for half an hour, do you have any idea what Bitcoin is?
I literally have no idea what Bitcoin is. Do you?
No.
You just buy 400-something thousand Bitcoins with your company and you. So if
look at his shirt, it says Bitcoin.
I want to know what I got wrong about Bitcoin, or explain it so I understand it finally.
Yeah, I think let's talk about it in sports metaphors. It's like first of all, there's some games that you can't play. You got to watch. And if you're just watching the game and the team wins, that means your season tickets are going to get more expensive next year. But there are other games you can play. You go into a casino and you play the game, but you know the game's rigged against you. There are some games where the house wins, you're not winning. And Satoshi created a game that's rigged in favor of the individual.
Is he a real person?
Satoshi is a real person.
Do you know who he is?
Gone but not forgotten.
Do you know who that person is?
We're all Satoshi. We're all Satoshi now, Dave.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, I don't know if Michael's really killing it with his explanation thus far. Let's give him a chance. Will Dave be able to understand it?
The most important thing to know is that, like Prometheus gave us fire to warm you up, Satoshi gave us a game we can all win, right? And Bitcoin is that game. It's, you know, there are certain things where, like, you don't want to be on a network where they can censor what you say and they can freeze your account. Bitcoin is a monetary network where it won't censor where you send your money. It won't freeze your account. And it's engineered in such a way that on the margin, you're winning the game over time. So think of it like, wouldn't it be great if you had a basketball team, you had LeBron James, and you had Michael Jordan, and you had the digital version of them, and they played forever, and you could get on the court and play with them. And they're scoring 100 points and you're scoring 2 points, but you're all getting rich together and you're all winning together. That's what Bitcoin is like. It's like everybody gets to play. Everywhere in the world I go, there's like a fan club. There's hundreds of millions of people that are on Team Bitcoin. You should join Team Bitcoin. The 100 million fans would be rooting for you. And the great thing about it is you don't just win the game. You get wealthy while you win.
Honestly, I do think that's better than the Winklevi. Maybe Michael should have just said, Dave, this could literally be your last chance to buy Bitcoin under $100,000. Do you want that flex or don't you? And you know what? I'll say it. I think I could have done a better job of just talking to Dave like one of the dudes, you know, an average guy, and explaining what Bitcoin is.
At its like most simple, like thing, what is Bitcoin? What is the blockchain? It is just...
Oh shit, what was this, like 10 years ago?
I don't know what a blockchain means. That's the other thing.
It's just a digital ledger.
So, Dave, I put this challenge out to you. I can be on your podcast tomorrow. But let's talk altcoins, because you subscribe to Altcoin Daily to stay in tune with the market, understand what's actually happening. So, Ondo Finance, since launch, holders of Ondo's tokenized treasuries have earned over $25 million in yield. We're proud to deliver real value and put yield back in the hands of holders.
Ondo Global Markets, I think, truly has the potential to transform what people do on public blockchains. The goal is to take publicly listed securities that have deep liquidity in traditional markets and put those on chain.
Cool to see the product being used and fundamental metrics keep going up and to the right. Everybody trading on exchange partner BitUnix. We have some winners.
No.
Campaign. And if you're looking for some alpha on tools to use to be a top trader, you found the ticker. Now what? Well, ChainGPT, which is AI crypto infrastructure, this is an interesting tool. Time to use our AI trading assistant. It'll help you feel less overwhelmed with technical analysis, bearish, bullish signals, live chart patterns. Let's go to this link. And again, this may work for some people. This may not work for some people, but it's important for you every day to tune into Altcoin Daily and just keep understanding what's out there. So AI Trading Assistant, this is a TA assistant, and it is premium, so you got to pay, meaning I paid $5 for about 500 credits. But we go to AI Trading Assistant right here, start. I like to trade Solana. Great, gathering sold data. Can you specify the time frame?
Oh my God, I think it's just showing this shit.
Faster, and this is interesting. My favorite L2 this cycle is Midas, and it's gearing up for a massive breakout, in my opinion. So some things to note about Midas, according to this analyst. They received a $100 million grant from the ETH Foundation. Vitalik's mom is the lead dev, we know this. It's the only layer 2 with a decentralized sequencer, and it does seem to be in some bullish consolidation. And very interesting news coming out of MetaMask, as well as Ethereum L2 Linea. Memenomics, the economy of memes. MetaMask and Linea, now we're starting to understand the value of meme coins.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Memenomics 101, the economy of memes. We'll talk about why memes on Linea, maybe even shout out a few favorite community projects.
Obviously, we know that Foxy is currently the blue chip meme coin on Linea, and as the head of growth on Linea has stated, he expects MetaMask to capitalize on memes by using its existing infrastructure, portfolio, wallet, etc., and its unique position as a crypto stalwart.
I'm curious, on your perspective, are you aware of any memes on Linea that you think have a very strong community?
Yeah, I mean, I've been supporting Foxy since. That's why I like Foxy from day one. It's
he always shows us Foxy,
and it's really good to see that recently. It's acting as the example of what you guys plan to do with memes on Media. So
is that Lord Farquaad's brother? This dude's haircut. All right, my bad. All right, getting into the recap segment of thing. If anybody is just joining, shout out to Altcoin Daily. Let's see. Bitcoin 97,575, looking pretty good. Ethereum at 3,700 bucks even. I think Ethereum is still going to get between 5,000 and 7,000. That is my opinion, and my that's where I'm gonna hold it till and see what happens there. Solana 213 bucks. You got BNB at 685.86 now dollars. We have ADA 98 cents. Awesome. I'm gonna buy some today. I need to. 11%. That's a pretty decent pullback, actually. 11%. Let's see. Where's XRP actually? XRP is about 10% down as well. $2.15. Maybe a good time to buy. I don't know. I'm not buying back into XRP, but I will long and short it. I'm just not going to buy it and hold it. There's no point. LTC I still think is a sleeping giant. 110 bucks, looking pretty good. Caspa just under 16 cents now, 15.9. We have ETC at $30, down 11%, almost 12%. Let's see, ARB is at 95 cents. Algorand at 40 cents, nice, down 13%. Look pretty good. Link 22.59, down almost 10%, or 9.19 to be exact. Dogecoin 39 cents. Look at that, it's under 40 cents. Finally, I feel like it's been holding 40 cents forever. But is that a good buy? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. It is just under 40, 8% down. All the meme coins actually taking a nice pullback, as well as everything else. HBAR 28 cents, 28.5. All right, crypto bubble. See if anything changed here. Looks like this move token, this movement is moving back up 21.5% up on the day, 77 cents. Everything else is real shit, to be honest. Yeah, everything's down. Everything, nothing crazy. All right, flashbang fear and greed index for anybody just joining, 78. This thing has not moved from yesterday. I'm gonna refresh it. It is still at a 78. With the market looking like this, we're still at 78. It's kind of wild, to be honest. It's kind of wild, but I'm sure this thing's gonna move down. It has to move down tomorrow. There's no way it's gonna stay here. If it stays here, then that's I don't know. This thing's broken. I don't know what else to say about it. But guys, that's gonna do it. That is gonna do it. I have to get back to daddy duty. You guys have a safe and happy Tuesday. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 7 a.m. ish Eastern Standard Time. And until then, drive safe. Have a good day at work. Peace out.
Eat shit, Gary.